presented by the 2015 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
A beautiful Friday evening here in Detroit. 23 degrees as the Toronto Blue Jays get set for 10 straight on the road in 16 of the next 19. Matt Devin alongside Pat Tabler. Tabby, great to be with you again as we take a look at the starting lineup for the visiting Toronto Blue Jays. Jose Bautista last season 10 for 28 against the Tigers, had 5 RBIs. Kevin Pillar over the course of the last 16 games putting up big time numbers, hitting .448, and tonight they will face a right-hander, 31 years of age, Anibal Sanchez.
Now in his 14th season with the Tigers, Sanchez gets ready for his 17th start of the season. He hasn't started a game where he has thrown less than 6 innings since May the 24th. He's been a very hot pitcher. In fact, he's had a great month of June. He finished the month of June at 3-1 with a .263 earned run average.
First pitch at 7:08, just off the outside edge. And the great thing about baseball is that come the next day, you have a game. And so yesterday, you can just put that one behind you, Tabby, and you need to.
Tough one yesterday for the Blue Jays. A tough game. Tough first inning. Gave up the 8 runs. Looked like they were coming back. They had to empty their bullpen. And you're right, baseball turning on today. It's a new day.
Jerry Meals calls it a strike. He works the home plate. Andy Fletcher at first. Jordan Baker at second, and down to the rocking chair. Third base is Paul Emmel, and this one is chopped over to Tim Leeper, the first base coach. And 2 strikes on Jose Reyes. Now, Sanchez, you look at the numbers, 6-7, .463 ERA, but over his last 3 home starts, he is averaging 7 2/3 with a 1.52 ERA. This one laced foul.
Yeah, forget about the record for Anibal Sanchez. This guy can pitch, and he comes in here a very hot pitcher for this Tiger team. We mentioned the great month of June. In fact, 5th best in the American League with a 193 opponent's batting average in the whole month of June.
The right-hander to the plate, and down and in. And the count now full to Jose Reyes with Donaldson waiting on deck.
This is exactly what you want to get from your leadoff hitter right here. You're starting a series against a pitcher who is hot. Make him throw a lot of pitches.
And the 3-2 changeup. And Reyes strikes out. Take a look at the Tigers defense. Cespedes, Anthony Gose, the former Blue Jay, patrolling center field, and Martinez out in right. Castellanos, Iglesias, and Kinsler, and Cabrera in the infield, and the battery Sanchez and Avila.
You know, you mentioned Anthony Gose in center field. There he is. They traded Austin Jackson last year, so they needed a center fielder. This is a big center field, 420 to dead center. So they got the speed of Gose, and talking to some of the Tiger people today, they are very happy about his defense out in the outfield for him.
Working Donaldson away, and quickly now 0-2. They play him towards the gap in right.
You know, that's the whole key. Pitching in this ballpark, trying to keep the ball in the big part of the ballpark. Again, it's 420 to dead center field. A long way. So these right-handed batters, I think, for the Blue Jays, they're going to see a lot of pitches away from them.
Yeah, a lot of room out in left center field. And there is a center field wall, 420 from home plate. Donaldson with the count of 1-2. 19 home runs this season, and the breaking ball down low, and the count now even at 2.
He'll use that cutter like we just saw there from Sanchez, the cutter. But talking with Brooke Jacoby before the game, he's anticipating Anibal Sanchez throwing a lot of change-ups to the Blue Jays, just trying to get them off of his fastball. Everybody knows the Blue Jays, they wear out pitchers who can throw hard.
Sanchez, and it swung on and missed. He strikes out the first two.
Well, he struck out Reyes on a changeup, and now he strikes out Josh Donaldson on a changeup. There's another one right there. Tuck it back in your hand, have a good arm action, and you can see the timing messed up just a little bit on Donaldson as he swings over the top of that one.
Hasn't used a changeup much, but they certainly, as you mentioned, they expected Sanchez to go to it against this potent offense.
I think he's going to show him the fastball, try to get ahead like that. He'll show him the curveball, get me over type of curveball, but I think the way he wants to get the Blue Jays out, he's going to use that changeup. And we're probably going to see him use it a little bit more than he's normally used to.
Bautista, the batter. And you think back to Donaldson's at bat. He went away, and then came inside with that changeup. And Donaldson well out in front of it. The 1-1 and breaking ball, a strike. And ahead in the count once again is Sanchez. Tigers need a big outing out of Sanchez. He has pitched well over his last 6 starts. He has worked 7+ innings. They've dropped 3 straight. They were swept by the Pirates. And what does Sanchez do? Strikes out the side. Reyes, Donaldson, Bautista all go down swinging. We go to the bottom of the first. Take a look at the Detroit Tigers. Tigers 39-39. Trying to avoid dipping under 500 for the first time this season. Miguel Cabrera, his career against Toronto, games 51, 11 home runs, and 37 RBIs. And J.D. Martinez against the American League East, 12 for 27, 3 home runs, 9 runs driven in. Interestingly enough, Tabby, Detroit against the East just 2-5, and here is Drew Hutchison.
Getting ready for his 17th start of the season. He's 8-1, and his ERA is at .499. Last time out, much better command of his fastball. 5 2/3 innings against Texas, 4 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. He also had 8 strikeouts. I thought his slider was better. I thought his changeup was better against Texas. And his fastball command, I think everything builds off of that for Drew Hutchison. When he is down in the strike zone and he's painting the ball down, that's when everything else seems to work for him.
Kinsler jumps on the first pitch and he rips it foul. Kinsler, Cespedes, Cabrera, if anybody gets on to Victor Martinez, a designated hitter. And a breaking ball down low and away. Hitting .264 is Kinsler. And they'll check, and yes, he did, says Andy Fletcher. And so now Hutchison ahead of the count of 1-2.
Ian Kinsler is a fastball type of hitter. He loves to get on that fastball, especially early in the count. I think that's why you'll see Drew Hutchison try to use that breaking ball just a little bit more. It's 3 in a row now to Kinsler.
And it's one of those perplexing things. You look at the road numbers, you look at the excellent home numbers. And you talk to Gibby before the game, and there's really no answer for it, as this one is popped up behind home plate, and Navarro is able to put it away. And take a look at the Toronto Blue Jays defense here on this Friday evening. Out in the outfield, Carrera, Pilar patrols center, Bautista out in right. And from first to third, Smoke, Travis, Reyes, and Donaldson. And the battery, Hutchison and Deanna Navarro.
Well, we showed Anthony Gose in center field. Here's the man he was trading for right here. Devin Travis thought he was going to be a Tiger, but now he comes to Tiger Stadium for the first time, Comerica Park, as a Blue Jay. And I asked him about the Detroit Tigers and what it was like. He said they were just great guys. And the one guy who was especially good to him, Ian Kinsler, the guy he was going to take his job from. Kinsler was very helpful to him, he said. He would show him something every single day to try to help him become a better defensive player, where to stand, how to field certain balls. That guy's a real pro, and he was helping out Travis. Unfortunately, he's with the opposition now.
Travis, Cespedes fouls this one off to the right side. Former 13th round pick back in 2012 out of Florida State. Seminole in Tallahassee, Florida, selected by the Tigers, and then on November 13th, 2014, traded for Anthony Gose. Baseball America rated him last year as Cespedes drills this one into the left center field gap. Giving chase is Carrera. And it's a one-out double.
Yoenis Cespedes is a good low ball hitter. And with 2 strikes, he's going to cut down his swing, and it looked like Drew Hutchison missed his spot. And it hit the spot of Cespedes, that low fastball, and he was all over it. One hops the wall in deep left center field for extra bases. They looked like they wanted to go away with that one, and it just leaked back over the plate, and he's got plenty of power.
23rd double of the season. Just quickly finishing that thought with Travis, Baseball America had him ranked 2nd last year in the Tigers organization as far as being a prospect, and actually made it all the way to number 1. Cabrera high in the air off to the right side. It'll drift back into the stands.
That's just a good job by the Blue Jays scouts to get out there and recognize the talent and the need of the Tigers needing a center fielder and the Blue Jays needing a second baseman. I mean, that's what trades are all about. They're supposed to help both teams, right? And it certainly did. The Tigers got their center fielder, and the Blue Jays got their second baseman.
Cespedes at second. Cabrera in the air to shallow right field, and it falls in. And rounding third and heading home is Cespedes, as Cabrera lifts it into shallow right field for an RBI single.
You know, you can't cover everything. You try and go deep because you respect the power of Miguel Cabrera. He's always been able to hit the ball to right field. He gets beat with this fastball, but with that inside-out swing, he's strong enough to get it over the infield, but doesn't hit it hard enough to get it into the outfield, so nobody can find it. It finds some grass, and good job by Cespedes to read base hit off the bat of Cabrera for the game's first run.
Hutchison, last start on the road was June 22nd. That was at Tampa Bay. Worked 5 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, threw 109 pitches. As Victor Martinez taps this one foul. And Cabrera now tied with Teixeira for a second, right behind Bautista with 55, and you see Josh Donaldson there in the top 5 with 52.
A premium type of hitter. Miguel Cabrera, tough to get him out. This whole Tiger lineup is strong.
It's been pitching.
Yep. Inconsistencies of the pitching for the Tigers. That's always been the problem this year.
They were swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates. They were outscored by the Pirates, interestingly enough, in the series, 22-11. There's a strike. And they led for only a half an inning in the series against the Pirates. And the Bucks had 49 hits. And the starters for the Tigers, they have struggled over the last 14, going just 5-9 with an ERA over 6. Hutchison, and this one is drilled foul by Martinez with one away here in the count of 1-2.
Going to have to figure out a way to get the ball off of the hitting plane. At times he makes too many mistakes on the hitting plane, and the hitters are all over it. Navarro will get the start tonight behind the plate, try to change things up with Drew Hutchison. Navarro's been known to use that high fastball with a lot of his starters. This might be a time to use it.
Chopped on the ground, covering first base. Hutchison, good job there, and now heading over to third and throwing behind the runner. And Donaldson applies a tag, and Cabrera is out. What a wild double play there. Second baseman taking the ground ball. You get Hutchison. Hutchison then throws over to third and had to track him down.
Tigers trying to wait this one out to see if they want to challenge this call on the replay. It looked like Cabrera had a couple of steps on Donaldson at third base. A heads-up play. One more time over the head of Smoke to Travis. And then a heads-up play by Hutchison to throw across the diamond. And he's called out.
The double play. Cabrera out at third. .415 double play, Tabby. You see it every day.
That's what I put down on my scoreboard. 415 double play by the Blue Jays. Looked like it was going to be a heads-up play by Cabrera, trying to go first to third on a ground out. But there's Josh Donaldson. Johnny on the spot once again.
Sneaking in behind him. Encarnacion, Navarro, Smoke. And then Pilar. If anyone can get on, there's a strike. Sanchez. Last start for Sanchez against the White Sox. Of course, the Blue Jays will see them starting on a Monday on the south side. He got a no decision. It was a 5-4 victory for the Tigers, as Encarnacion lifts that one about 10 rows back behind the first base dugout. Went 7 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 home runs, and that has been the one thing that has been the Achilles of Sanchez. He has given up 5 home runs over his last 2 starts. All of last year he gave up just 4, and already 18 this season, Tabby.
Yeah, and the equalizer for Sanchez is he can strike you out. Yeah, he'll give up his share of home runs and make mistakes, but he'll pick up his strikeouts too to offset the home run.
Count runs full. Goes shaded toward the gap in left center field. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no wind what to speak of here on this picture perfect Friday evening. And a breaking ball down low and away. And the leadoff batter is aboard. Let's go back to the 4-1-5 double play.
Well, kudos to Josh Donaldson staying with this play. As you see, Cabrera, his foot actually came off the bag at third base.
Yes, right there.
And Donaldson stayed with it. He didn't give up on that play. And look at the umpire right in on it. And he calls him, he's off the bag. Yeah. Paul Emmel, he says, you're out. Heads up play. A lot of times, fielders will catch that ball and they'll just concede the run or concede the bag. Not Josh Donaldson.
Breaking ball in there for a strike against Navarro, hitting .234. Castellanos even with a bag at third. Of course, you go back to last night in the play at the plate in the 5th, where John Gibbons ultimately gets ejected from the game. That could have been 8-5, and who knows. High in the air to deep right center field, and underneath it is Martinez, and there's one away. And that was a scenario where tag wasn't made. And a question whether or not Valencia actually touched the plate. And so what happened, they go back around and they tag him. Miley was screaming tag, 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 and scenario.
And to his credit, Danny Valencia gave up on the play because he was called out by the umpire. And that
happened right in front of him.
Yeah.
You saw the big, right hand come down with the out signal. Of course you're not going to go back to it. Here's Justin Smoke. And the feeling last night, as you see Castellanos move now in between the first baseman and the second baseman, the shift is on for Smoke.
Want to keep those middle infielders handling the ball on any ground ball as they try to turn 2.
Broken bat in the air. Iglesias has it. You don't want to waste that leadoff walk, but the feeling is, you talked to John Gibbons before the game, look, with the offense that the Blue Jays have, there's that sense of you can come back, you can get these runs back, but that one kind of took a little bit out of it.
That play at the plate, I thought, was the turning point in the ball game. The momentum was pushing towards the Blue Jays. That would have made it 8-5, couple runners on and just 1 out, and clearly Blue Jays had a shot at that, but that just took the wind out of their sails, and basically the game was over after that call at the plate, and there was nothing Blue Jays could do about it. That was the call on the field. It cost Gibby some money, I guess, getting thrown out of that ball game. But he was also saying to us that they felt like the players, to a man, even though they were down 8-0, they were going to come back and win that game. Yeah. And they almost did.
Yeah. Pilar ahead of the count, 2-0. Sanchez with Encarnacion over at first base. Pilar hitting .285. And a center fielder awaits the pitch. And there's a strike at the count. Now runs 2-1. Sanchez, of the 18 home runs he's allowed, a dozen of them have been right here at Comerica Park. And the right-hander deals, and Pilar got underneath it. And battling the sun, and Cespedes is able to handle it. And that'll do it. Encarnacion, leadoff walk, stranded at first.
And enter the code MBJ1429 to earn My Blue Jays points just for watching the broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. Code must be entered by 11:59 tonight. Look for a new code tomorrow. Matt?
All right, Barry, so many great Blue Jay fans here in Detroit, coming over the Ambassador Bridge. They check out this 3-game series to begin a 7-game road trip for Toronto. J.D. Martinez, the batter, hitting .281, 21 homers, and he's driven in 51 runs.
What a find, if you will, this was for the Detroit Tigers last year.
Hit in the air to center field. Pilar drifting back, has a beat on it. And there's one away here in the bottom half of the second.
21 home runs this year for Martinez. Hit 23 last year. This was a player who was released at the end of spring training last year by the Houston Astros. And Detroit wisely picks him up, puts him in the outfield, and he's responded. Become a nice little power hitter for him.
Absolutely. Alex Avila, the hitter. And Hutchison deals a strike. And the shift is on for the Blue Jays.
You see Alex Avila's numbers right there in just 22 ball games. He just activated before tonight's ball game. Off the disabled list, he had a knee problem. Been on the disabled list since the first week of May. But he is their everyday catcher and gets a chance now to get back in the lineup for Brad Ausmus.
Ausmus, former catcher, and a swing and a miss. Travis on the grass in shallow right field. Reyes on the second base side of the bag, and Donaldson shaded toward the bag at second. And the third baseman. And a swing and a miss. Cut down.
Yeah, that's where you want to pitch Avila. That high fastball, about letter high. It's tough for him to come up with it. And there it is, the high fastball. That is by design for Drew Hutchison. You can see he's just a little tardy on that swing. And no doubt, Deoner Navarro had something to do with that. Again, he likes to use that high fastball as a finishing pitch.
Castellanos is the hitter. And this one launched off to the right side. Nick's hitting .233 with 4 home runs and 29 RBIs. The third baseman with 2 away here in the bottom of the second, and the Tigers up 1-0.
Castellanos' power is to right field. He's got that inside-out swing, but he's got that classic power swing the other way.
And right on cue, Bautista calls off Pilar underneath it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning with just 8 pitches.
And much-see guests. Catch Tim and Sid weeknights right here on Sportsnet or connect online 24/7 at Tim and Sid. And guys, you're also guaranteed to laugh at least a few times while watching that show.
Absolutely. The great Tim and Sid.
I loved your line to him today. Something happened in the audio and you just couldn't hear him. You said that was the best they've ever sounded. Good line.
Hey, you got to have some fun with Tim and Sid. They're great. They do an outstanding job. I always enjoyed being on the radio show. And the first time, might be the last on the TV unless we get that audio straightened out. Couldn't hear a thing they were saying, but they sounded great.
Well, I'm sure they were talking because they do that quite well.
Yes. Carrera, and then Travis, and then back to the top of the order, Sanchez. Twists and fires, and the pitch is on the inside edge off the plate. 2-1 the count. Castellanos in on the grass at third. And Carrera, the left fielder, hitting .286, takes it high. And he's worked it into a hitter's count of 3-1 here.
Carrera's been putting some very good at-bats together for the Blue Jays. Hitting down in the lineup for John Gibbons. Working the pitcher. He's coming up with some big base hits. He's getting on base. He's using his speed. That one is bounced foul. But here's another long at-bat by a Blue Jay against Anibal Sanchez. There are the numbers that I was just talking about over his last 13 games, hitting over 300.
With a home run and 5 RBIs. Hit high in the air, and that one is turning foul. And back into the stands. Nevin Travis awaits. He's on deck, the former Tiger.
You and I were talking in the opening about the new guys that the Blue Jays have picked up this year and how they have really melded together with the core players to put the Jays just a game behind.
Sanchez reaches up, handles the chopper, and then an underhanded soft toss to Cabrera. And Carrera is out, and this is going to bring up Devin Travis. Travis back in time to take on his former team, former organization, the Tigers. Was on the DL from May 17th through June 26th. Undrafted out of high school, went to Florida State, drafted in the 13th round by the Tigers. And in 2013, he was named the Tigers Minor League Player of the Year, as that pitch is right at the knees for a strike.
Got to the big leagues last year, his first chance of a big league camp, and said he loved the big league camp. This was like one big family, the Detroit Tigers. He was sorry to go in the trade, but he knew that there was a chance to play in the big leagues, and the Blue Jays are very happy that they have him. There's Nick Castellanos, one of his ex-teammates, and checking out the rug
before the game, having some fun. Like, what did you do? And this one laced foul, and the count remains 0-2.
He had nothing but good things to say about his former organization and the guys on this team. And I asked him about Ian Kinsler at second base, and he said he was a fantastic teammate. Fantastic teammate. He would help him every single day in spring training. He said it was a wonderful experience last year in his first big league camp with the Tigers.
Kinsler, the second baseman for the Tigers, and the pitch is up and away.
A lot of times veterans like that won't help young players, knowing that they're coming up to take their job.
For sure.
But he had nothing but good things to say about Ian Kinsler.
Travis hitting .381 since coming off the DL, and the 1-2 pitch, and did he get a piece of it? No. Strikes out. The fourth strikeout.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
As much as the Blue Jays need a strong outing out of Hutchison, and the Tigers need one out of Sanchez. And thus far, Sanchez has been strong. I mean, Brad Ausmus said, look, we need pitching. And pitching has to be better. And so they turn to Sanchez, who over the last 3 home starts has just been outstanding, with an opponent average of 169. Reyes down 0-1 with the count now even at 1-1.
Well, he's got so many ways to get you out. The fastball, just enough fastball that you have to respect it. 92, maybe 93 miles an hour, but he'll mix in that curveball, his changeup, his cutter, his slider, and he'll use them at different times. But again, that changeup tonight, I think, is going to be a big pitch for him.
Backs Reyes up, and you see the last 3 home starts. There are the numbers. Over his last 4 starts overall, he's 3-0 with a 2.05 ERA with 26 strikeouts. No decision.
You know what the big numbers were in that last bit of information that we threw up on the screen? Is he's almost pitching 8 innings every time he goes to the mound. And that is so important, especially the Tigers. They've had their problems with their bullpen this year. If you can get a starter throwing 7 2/3, averaging that, you're going to win your ball games.
I mentioned this earlier. Last 6 starts, he's pitched 7+ innings each time out. I mean, that's big time. And when things aren't going well, the Tigers need him to be sharp as the pitch is down low and away. And the Tigers team that has dropped 9 of 14 games. And Ausmus, he was ejected yesterday in the 5th inning as well for arguing balls and strikes. There's 6 games out in the Central. And this one high in the air, back a second to base, and heading out there, Iglesias, and another 1-2-3 inning. Only Encarnacion has reached, and that was on a walk back in the 2nd. first time.
And got off to a blistering start for the Detroit Tigers. Look at his on-base plus slugging by the month. In April, 822. Anything over 800 is outstanding. It slipped a little bit in May. But now in June, it's down under 400. And we had a chance to talk to Wally Joyner, the hitting coach for the Detroit Tigers. And he was talking about Anthony Gose. And right now, he's going to get a lot of breaking balls. And what he has to do, he has to recognize breaking balls that are strikes as opposed to breaking balls that are off the plate, and swing at the ones that are strikes. Pitchers have been getting him out by elevating the fastball and throwing a lot of breaking balls off the plate, in the dirt, down and in, away. He just has to recognize the ones that are strikes and then swing at the ones that are in the strike zone.
Yeah, it's interesting talking to Wally Joyner just about the approach that he took with Anthony Gose. He said in spring training, didn't really mention anything to him about what he saw, just wanted to watch him for a week before talking to him about his approach at the plate. And then I think the most interesting thing is what he does as far as BP.
He don't come on the field and hit on BP. Wally felt that he was worried too much about the results of batting practice, where if you hit a ball and it doesn't go out of the ballpark, it's warning track power, he would get upset with himself and get down, and it would just ruin his whole batting practice. So he took him inside, let him hit in the cage, and you don't get any results in the cage except what? Your swing. Yeah. All you worry about is your swing, and it has worked for him so far this year. He's been struggling lately, as you can see over the last 9 games, just 136 average. Very talented player.
Yeah, you know, one of the things, you can't carry BP over to the game when things aren't going the way you want it. BP. How about, were you a guy that, did you carry that over? Or did you just, you know what, if you didn't have a good BP session, you know, no big thing, get into the game and just let her rip?
There's a base hit. Yeah. You know, some of my best games were after some of my worst batting practice, because you just clear your mind after a horrible round of batting practice. You go out there and the game just seems to be so much easier. This was a good at bat, I thought, from Gose. He laid off that 2-strike breaking ball, something that they have been working on. Lay off the ball that is a curveball out of the strike zone and wait for your pitch. He got it and he bangs it through the middle. Now he's a threat to steal over there at first base.
Has 12 stolen bases on the season. 34 stolen bases in his time with the Blue Jays. His 202 games as a Blue Jay. Donaldson in at third, and there's a strike to Iglesias, who's hitting .324 with a home run and 11 runs driven in.
They can hit and run with Iglesias, with Gose at first base. They can bunt with him. They can let Gose steal. One thing they're going to have to do is you're going to have to make Anthony Gose stop over there at first base. On that first pitch to Iglesias, he was moving, and Drew Hutchison has to recognize that and either step off or throw over there. He just kept inching further and further off of that base. Got to make him stop.
Iglesias fourth in the American League with that .324 batting average. Gose inches out towards second. He's off and running, and a liner right to Travis, and over to Smoke. They'll double him up. A sinking liner, hit and run, and doubled up is Gose.
Well, sometimes you make that happen and it works. And the Blue Jays, how about them using the shortstop to cover on the hit and run right there and keeping the second baseman at home to make that play? You saw that on the replay right there, where Blue Jays guessed right that they were going to play hit and run, and Iglesias shoots the ball the other way, so the second baseman stays right there, and it ends up being a double play.
Otherwise, it's a base hit and runners at the corners. If you had Travis covering, excellent point.
Those are all the little things within the game that you can't find them in a box score. But, you know, you watch the game and you see little things like that happen, and that worked out for Drew Hutchison and the Blue Jays.
Kinsler popped out to Navarro his first time up. And a line drive, base hit into right field. Over Travis and scooped up by Bautista. And Kinsler aboard with a base hit. He's 1 for 2 here on the night. And with 2 away, Cespedes first time up, ripped one into the gap and then eventually scored on a bloop single.
It's 3 balls that have been hit pretty hard this inning by the Tigers. Leadoff hit by Ghost, the line out by Iglesias, now the single by Kinsler.
Jays have won 5 straight starts by Hutch. He's 4-0 with a no decision. That was that brief outing in Boston back on June 12th when he worked 2 1/3. 3 home runs, 9 hits, 8 runs all earned, but the Jays came away with the victory 13-10.
No decision. In fact, the last time he lost was May 20th. The only time that he has lost this year.
8-1. He is 6-1 at home with a 2.12 ERA on the road. That ERA towards 9. Kinsler with 2 outs takes a lead at first, held on by Smoke. Hutchinson chases him back with that throw over to first base. Very still evening here in the Motor City. No wind with to speak of. And a fastball is pumped in there for a strike at the count of 1-1. Cespedes hitting now .291 with 10 home runs and 43 RBIs. He has scored 45 times this season, including back at the bottom of inning number 1. Hutch looks over at first. And the pitch is high. And the count now 2-1.
Got to be careful with this guy. He can reach the seats.
Well, that's a daunting task. You got Cespedes, Cabrera, Martinez.
This offense for the Detroit Tigers reminds you a lot of the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I mean,
the middle of the line, there's no rest stops.
Like, all right, who can I see to get me out of this thing?
That's what makes it so tough to pitch in the American League with the designated hitter and the stacked lineups. I mean, every pitch has got a purpose, and it's maximum effort type of at-bats.
Even when you make a good pitch, you got a batter like Cabrera who's able to fight it off and loop it into right field to put the Tigers up 1-0. As he did back in the first. The 2-2 now with a runner moving, swing and a miss. Struck him out. Breaking ball down low and away, and Cespedes waved at it. And Kinsler is left stranded at first. Darting down low and away.
Bautista and Encarnacion scheduled to hit, and you were just talking about tough lineups. Well, here's one too. 19 home runs for Donaldson, 16 for Bautista, 17 for Encarnacion. 3 players with 15 or more home runs. They're the only team in baseball that can say that they've got 3 players with 15 or more home runs in their lineup, and they're back to back to back. They also, all 3 of them, have driven in 50 runs this year. The only team in baseball that can say that.
Donaldson grounds out to third.
You talk about no rest stops or having to pitch through a tough part of the lineup. Blue Jays have the best in baseball in my mind.
Absolutely. I mean, you think about Donaldson, what he's done this year. All-star balloting, it's over, and the starters will be announced on Sunday. Fully expect to see Donaldson in Cincinnati as Bautista gets underneath it and right up the elevator all the way to the top floor, and Avila settles underneath it, and quickly 2 outs.
And even when you fall behind in a game, I think with the Blue Jays, you're never out of it because they have scored the most runs in baseball. Blue Jays at 441 runs. Nobody else has 400 in baseball. The Yankees at second at 368, then the Athletics, and then a surprise, the Astros at 362 with all their home run power that they have. So they can beat you in different ways, and when they're healthy like they are now, they've got a lot of players, not just the 3 guys that we mentioned, but they've got some players, some hitters all throughout that lineup. It's a very deep lineup. Tigers are close. They've got a couple with 15-plus home runs and a couple of 50 RBI guys, but they don't have 3 like the Blue Jays.
Breaking ball in there to Encarnacion. Encarnacion is the only Blue Jay to reach base, and that was a leadoff walk in the second. They have been held hitless thus far through 3 2/3. Sanchez rocks back and deals a 1-1 and a check swing foul, and it's 1-2 now.
Look at the quality of those pitches to Encarnacion. Is there any doubt what they're going to try and do to him? Keep the ball away from him. Look at that. 3 of them right down and away on that strike zone.
Set up outside, and that one rides up and in. The 2-2 just misses, and the count now runs full to Encarnacion.
You know, we have seen this time and time again this year where they jump ahead of Encarnacion or Bautista and then try to nibble on the corner, and they just don't swing at it, and they get back in the count.
And that one fouled back. Yeah, you mentioned, you know, the 15 home runs and the 50-plus ribbies. Bautista and Donaldson, they're the only players in the American League with 15-plus home runs, 50-plus RBIs, and 50-plus runs scored. Quite the tandem. Dribbled off the end of the bat. Sanchez races over to the first base bag, and another 1-2-3 inning. Only Encarnacion has been aboard for the Jays. Through 4, the Jays are hitless against Anibal Sanchez. 1-0 Tigers.
Presented by the 2015 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
You'll see Windsor there, and so many great Blue Jay fans come here for the weekend to check out their Jays, and you see jerseys throughout the stands here at Comerica Park. And a ground ball ripped right back through the middle. Cabrera is aboard, and he's 2 for 2. That's the lone RBI here. The ninth, bottom of the 4th inning. Here's Victor Martinez.
Well, you could try something different, and Drew Hutchison throws a breaking ball to Cabrera. Just try to do something different against him. He's a .286 career hitter against the Blue Jays with 11 home runs and 37 RBI. That time he stayed right on that breaking ball.
Just such a great hitter. Cabrera tied for second with Prince Fielder with that .345 batting average entering the game tonight, second best in the American League, as Martinez looks at the pitch, and it's a strike.
Victor's a very patient batter at the plate. He will work the count and take his time. You see him stepping out right now just to get his mind clear. What he wants to do is, he is a good hitter.
Fouls it off to the left side.
Pitch the ball where it's pitched. If you throw him away, you can slice the ball to left field. He's a switch hitter. I think he's a little bit better from this side right here. There he is. His numbers in 13 seasons. He's a career .304 hitter with some production. It's a guy who doesn't get a lot of infield hits, a lot of leg hits, just a lot of line drives all over the ballpark.
Struggling this season. Hitting .239 with a pair of home runs and 25 RBIs. Last year, 32 home runs and 103 runs driven in.
He's had some leg problems, some knee problems. Has missed some time this year, and when you don't have your legs underneath you when you're hitting, you can't push off. You don't have that good base that you need to hit, so the power numbers are going to be down. This is a guy who won a couple of batting titles when he was in the minor leagues.
Hit .335 last season. Last time he hit under that 300 mark was some time ago. Go back to 2008 when he hit .278 for Cleveland. And the 1-2 down and in. And Navarro able to scoop it up, and he stares Cabrera back over to first base. I don't think Cabrera is going to go anywhere, especially after that last time he was trying to take third on that 4-1-5 double play.
And the fans here in Detroit know the problems that Victor has had with his knees. So after that ball went inside like that, you can see he was really struggling to get out of the way of that breaking ball. They don't want their designated hitter to be hit in that area down there. He has had some knee problems in his career.
Jays have employed the shift. Reyes right back at that second base bag, and it's fouled back. A season ago, the Astros had the highest total of using the shift with 1,341, and the Blue Jays second, 686 shifts, fifth in total number of shifts, but they were able to limit the runs. I think that was the big thing. And the old run saved by utilizing it. Astros 27 and the Blue Jays second with 16 runs saved.
And they take all those statistics and they mix them in a pot and they help them to align their defense. But all the shifts that you have not going to do anything for you when you have a hitter like Victor Martinez who could take the ball the other way. He almost slapped that ball to left field.
Breaking ball down and in. Cabrera, the leadoff batter, aboard here, the bottom of the 4th inning. And Martinez has worked it full. 3 balls and 2 strikes, outfield straight away. Reyes now a step toward that second base bag. Donaldson, a third baseman, over at short. Smoke holds on Cabrera with a count of 3-2. Hutchison has the sign and fouled off to the left side.
You know, I was watching Miguel Cabrera, and he might have to come out of this ball game. He took off on that 3-2 pitch to Victor Martinez, and I don't know if it's a calf, a cramp. He pulled something, but he pulled up lame. Watch him one more time. He just walks off the base, and they decide to start the runner, and about halfway, he feels it. And he's called the trainer out. He has called out the manager. And whenever you see a runner do that, you see him trying to guard himself. That is not a good sign, and he's going to have to leave this game. The way he's walking off the field, we might not see him the rest of the series.
Down and he grabbed his left calf. Being helped off of the field by the trainer of the Tigers and moving very slowly as he makes his way toward that third base dugout, the home dugout of the Tigers.
Yeah, you're not really sure what it is, if it's a knee or a calf or the bottom of his hamstring, but that, the way he is guarded, and you can see him limping off the field. That is not a good sign if you're a Tiger fan.
Absolutely not. Limping right toward that dugout. Romine takes over for Cabrera at that first base bag, and Cabrera hobbling now back toward the clubhouse, down the stairs, and that walk, weaving his way back up toward the clubhouse of the Tigers. And Brad Ausmus is thinking, what now and what next?
Why'd I send him? Why didn't I just leave him at first base?
Romine at first base, and the count 3-2 to Victor Martinez, and they'll toss over to first base, and diving back in is Romine.
Let's see if we can see where he starts to grab.
It's that left calf.
That's the calf. Yeah, he's such a big guy too.
Checks on Romine once again. Andrew Romine. Here's the 3-2. And what an at-bat for Martinez. Take a look at the American League Central. Kansas City way out in front. And Detroit, a team that is 6 back.
Yeah, Detroit starts this night 39-39, 6 games back. They've lost 3 in a row, but the Kansas City Royals have lost 4 in a row. So they haven't lost any ground to Kansas City.
Kansas City 44-32, checking out of Romine once again, and Romine dives back in safely. Minnesota's been a surprise at 42-37, 3.5 games back of the Royals, and Detroit, followed by Cleveland and the White Sox with a mark of 34-42. Last season, the Tigers, Tabby, never trailed the division leader by more than 3 games. And they're back 6. But they feel as though they are within reach and they can get it back together. And this sounds familiar. They feel as though they just need some pitching. Ground ball through the right side. Romine heads to third. And runners at the corners here to start the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, that was a typical Victor Martinez type of at-bat. Long at-bat, couple of foul balls, get the count to 3-2, then find the pitch that you like. It's a breaking ball, and he can hit a breaking ball 2-strike. Base hit into right field. Romine will scoot over to third base after he pinch ran for Cabrera. But that is a typical at-bat. 11, 12 pitches for Victor Martinez. And then he finally singles into right field.
11 pitches. Martinez just continually worked it and finally drives it through the right side. And here's J.D. Martinez. Nobody out here, bottom of the 4th inning. And a swing and a miss. And remember with Hutchison, you look at his last start against Texas, worked 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, a run, unearned, 3 walks. 8 strikeouts, 97 pitches. But it's getting deep into the game.
That's what they're looking for right here. 7, 8 innings to get deep into this game to help out that bullpen.
Strike is called. Double play, depth through the middle.
Now you can get out of this if you're Drew Hutchison, because you've got a couple of guys coming up who strike out a lot. J.D. Martinez, even though he's got the great power numbers, 21 home runs, 51 RBIs, he has struck out 86 times this year. So you need a strikeout or a pop-up right here, something where those runners can't move up, and then you can take your chance on getting a ground ball and getting out of here.
Romine taking over for Cabrera, who's left the game. A walking lead at third. And a swing and a miss. And exactly what Tabby ordered. 3rd strikeout for Hutch. And let's take a look back at the revised records here in the American League Central. There it is, the look of the Central. And Tigers feel as though, hey, look at, 39-39. Haven't played well, lost 9 of 14.
We're hanging around.
We're hanging around.
Yep. And if we get our pitching straightened out, they got plenty of offense. They play great defense. They just got Justin Verlander back, and we will see him in this series against the Tigers. They're just trying to figure out a way to get that starting pitching a little bit more consistent.
Avila is the batter. Struck out back in the 2nd. Can they get a double play here and a breaking ball? He is low. Donaldson even with a bag at 3rd. Reyes shades him toward the second base bag through the middle. Looking for a double play ball. Pilar stepped toward the gap in right. Trying to keep it a 1-0 game, and a ball is called down and in. 2-0 now the count.
Yeah, that's danger right there to a fastball hitter like Avila. He looks for that number 1 somewhere out over the plate, and he's looking to try and drive in 2 here.
Hutch hasn't gone past 6 1/3 in his last 6 starts. Trying to get out of a jam in the 4th here. And that one misses away, and it's now 3-0. Avila hitting just 197.
Here's Castellanos on deck, and I am sure they're going to give this guy the green light. He's got power to reach the stands.
And the 3-0 misses, and the bases are full here at Tigers. At the bottom of the 4th inning, Castellanos makes his way toward the batter's box. Does a little gardening there as he now steps away to look down the third base line, and your old teammate Dave Clark giving him the signs.
Flashing him the hit sign right now.
Flashing him the, if it's there.
Swing away. Infield playing double play depth. You see the middle of the diamond. They will try and turn two. Josh Donaldson will have some decisions to make. If it's hit right at him or to his backhand, he might come home. Go home to first.
Swung on, driven into left field, and making the diving catch, Carrera, and then it squirts out of his glove. Unable to hold on to it. The throw gets past third, and all sorts of trouble for the Jays here in the bottom of the fourth. Runners at second and third now.
What looked like it was going to be a circus catch for Ezequiel Carrera in left field turns into a show. That ball was drilled by Castellanos into the gap, first pitch, and it looked like extra bases, but here comes Carrera. He dives, and he's had trouble with this, diving for the baseball and then coming up with it. Problem with this is Drew Hutchison is standing in the middle of the diamond. He's not backing up anybody, and if he's not backing up third base, the runners are going to move up on that throw. Here's the dive. It's in his glove, but then he hits the turf, and it squirts out. And then to compound the problem, as Victor Martinez wasn't real sure where the ball was, the throw gets away from Donaldson. It is not backed up, and then the runners will move up. So the Blue Jays defense hurts them right there on that play.
A single and an E7. And it's now 3-0 Tigers. One RBI will be credited to Castellanos, his 30th.
It was a heck of an effort by Carrera to get to the ball, and he had it in his glove, unfortunately, when he dove and then hit the grass. The ball popped out of his glove. One more time, he gets to it, he sees on target, he dives. It's in the glove. And then pops out as you see him brace to hit the ground. He just can't close that glove, can't turn it over and get the leather underneath him.
Ghost, line drive base hit against his former team into left. And here in the home half of the fourth, and another throw gets away. And Ghost is going to travel down to third.
Wow. One run was going to score, and they were holding the runner, but again, the cutoff man, or the cutoff throw, misses the cutoff man. And when it goes past the cutoff man, the catcher, and then Drew Hutchison, who was backing up, it lands in the Blue Jays dugout. There's the run. You can see Dave Clark telling the runner to hold on, but this throw nowhere near home plate. It ends up in the Blue Jays dugout, so Ghost can go all the way to third base. Still just one out.
And Carrera charged with another error. So 2 here in the bottom of the fourth inning, and 5 runs for the Tigers, 4 here in the fourth. Two runs have scored on an error, and there is Dubron out in the bullpen getting ready.
The newest Blue Jay, they said they could use him tonight in a long situation.
In the air to center field, tagging up at third is Ghost, and he'll score easily. And it's now 6-0. Iglesias with his 12th RBI.
Blue Jays' lack of defense have helped the Tigers to this big lead. A couple of errors, a couple of plays that were not made. And then with the speed of Ghost over at third base, all you have to do is get the ball into the outfield and let him do everything else. Iglesias will pick up the RBI.
Hutchison here in the fourth with 2 away, just trying to get out of the fourth and let those potent Jays bats go to work. See if they can figure out Sanchez. And up to this point, only one Blue Jay has reached base, and that was Encarnacion back in the second. Navarro, Smoke, Pilar all due up if anybody gets on Carrera, and you know he would love to try to help out after the 2 errors here in the bottom of the fourth. That a fastball burns the outside edge for a strike. Kinsler the batter, and you could see the pain on the face of Carrera.
He's an ex-Tiger, and you know he wants to do something to beat his former team. He got to that ball. I thought he had it, and then he just couldn't squeeze it.
And a good lively fastball there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sanchez getting all sorts of help here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And this one out toward left field, and Carrera makes the catch. It's time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
By Bacardi. The first one goes July 17th as the Blue Jays host the Rays at 7:07. Get to the ballpark early for our pregame festival outside Gate 10. Gates will open at 4:30, and you can enjoy a live performance by special guest Dean Brody in the licensed area. Go to BlueJays.com for more details. Now,
all right, Barry. So top of the 5th inning, Andrew Romine takes over for Cabrera at first base. Cabrera left after taking off on a 3-2 pitch. That seems so long ago. And that 11-pitch at bat of Victor Martinez. Cabrera stopped about midway through. And his race towards second, grabbed his calf and left calf on the ground. And the third baseman, Iglesias rather, the shortstop, handles it.
Yeah, they were in the shift with Navarro. I'll tell you what, this Detroit Tiger team, defensively, so much better than what we have seen over the last few years. Their inner defense is so good. They've only committed 37 errors, tied with the fewest errors in the American League. They're tied with Baltimore with the fewest errors. They also have the best fielding percentage in the American League. A lot of it has to do with this inner defense that has been so good this year.
Justin Smoke popped out to Iglesias back in the second. 10 Jays have been retired in a row. Facing Sanchez. And Brad Ausmus has to like this, up 6-0 with Sanchez just rolling right now. Over his last 4 starts, Detroit has averaged 7.3 runs for Anibal Sanchez.
And he knows what to do with that.
Yeah.
This guy just goes and attacks the strike zone and uses all his pitches.
Shift on for Smoke. Chop to the first baseman. Romine steps on the bag. 3 unassisted.
Well, let's take a look at what Anibal Sanchez did. His first 10 starts, he just wasn't right. He wasn't healthy when the season started. Earned run average of 612 through those first 10. He just wasn't right. Now he's starting to get into the flow of things, and over his last 6, the opponents are hitting under 200. His whip is 0.99, earned run average of 262. And again, he hasn't pitched less than 7 innings in a start since May the 24th. That was at Houston.
Pilar looks at a strike. Pilar handed the second, flying out to left field to Cespedes. Even with the bag at third, Castellanos. And here's Sanchez. And the pitch is up and in. Sanchez has not allowed a hit in 4 2/3 innings. He's retired 11 in a row since walking Encarnacion, a leadoff walk back at the top of the second. He struck out the side to begin the game at the top of the first. This one laced towards center field, and coming on is Ghost, using that speed, and it's another 1-2-3 inning. 12 in a row retired by Sanchez. Through 5, he hasn't allowed a hit.
Here for the 5th inning, but Felix Doubront will be getting into this game rather soon, and this is one of the reasons why the Blue Jays called him up today. Because of what happened last night, they needed someone who could go long. This would be Felix Doubront's night to start in AAA Buffalo, and he is stretched out. He's been around there for a while. He's made 9 starts. I think in a perfect world, the Blue Jays wanted him up here to be a starter, but out of necessity, he is going to be pitching out of relief tonight. Now, if he goes 2 innings or less, he will be available to take Matt Boyd's start on Tuesday. And at this point, John Gibbons says he is the front runner to take that spot. Now, originally, the Blue Jays were hoping to have someone come up and make a spot start to give everyone that extra day off. But because Matt Boyd has now been sent down, that plan may now be scrapped, with Felix Doubront starting possibly on Tuesday. Matt?
All right, Barry. And Hutchison here in the bottom of the 5th inning. He's allowed 6 runs, 4 earned. Through 4, Cespedes dribbles this one back. Hutchison off of the mound, and one away here in the 5th. And obviously, with all the shuffling, it's why it's so important to get innings out of Hutch here this evening.
Give him some innings, give those guys in that bullpen a little bit of a blow, because they've been very busy over the last week or so. And Doubront can come into this game, and depending on how many pitches he throws or how many innings he throws, you can use this as a throw day if you will. That if he comes into this game and throws a couple of innings, that doesn't mean he can't start on Tuesday. He'll still have Saturday, Sunday, Monday to rest up for that start. So this would be treated like a throw day.
And it was his scheduled day.
The important thing to realize is they brought him up here. If they send him back down, he's going to be exposed to waivers, and they're going to lose him. He's a major league arm. Okay, so would not shock me to see them bring him up here, pitch him out of the bullpen for a little bit, and then put him in the starting rotation. If he does well, just keep making starts.
Romine entered the game back in the fourth for Cabrera. His first at bat of the night, hitting over 300 on the season. From the windup, and a strike called. That's the fourth strikeout, and 2 away here in the fifth. And let's check in with Jamie Campbell with his update. Tampa, a team that has dropped 5 in a row in 8 of their last 10, Tabby.
That's odd. You know why? Because they're just starting to get their starters back. Starting to get their injured starters back into starting rotation. You would think that they would be getting stronger and the win-loss record be a little bit better.
Martinez into the gap in left center field. Takes a turn, heads to second, and the throw cut off and then thrown away. And it now rolls toward the dugout of the Jays, and on to third base is Martinez. So a double and an error with 2 away. Error will be charged more than likely to Travis.
Well, first of all, Martinez can hit. Slices this ball to left field, and Pilar comes up throwing, and then Travis, you know, I don't know if Reyes was telling him to cut that ball or just let that ball come through, because they had a shot at Martinez at second base, but when the ball's cut off, he's too close to throw that ball. Tough for the guy on the other end, that's Reyes, to try and catch that ball. So it looks like Devin will be charged with the error. Another backup problem for the Blue Jays. Nobody backing up that throw.
5th error of the season on Travis. Carrera, his first 2 of the season, out of left field in the 4th. And a swing and a miss by Martinez, J.D. Martinez, with Victor Martinez down at 3rd. Now we're talking about Tampa. Of course, they're at Yankee Stadium, up 3-0 in the middle of the 5th. They're 21-12 on the road, are the Rays. Getting it done away from Tropicana Field. And a swing and a miss. Ahead of the count. Tigers up 6-0 here in the home half of the 5th inning. First game of a 3-game set. First meeting this season between the Tigers and the Jays. Hutchison looks in. Navarro with the sign. And the 1-2 is driven to right field. Bautista on the run. It bounces off of the wall, and it's going to be a double. Back-to-back doubles, and it's 7-0.
That is where his power stroke is, away. He's a good low ball hitter. They struck him out last time on a breaking ball off the plate, bounced it in front of home plate, and J.D. Martinez swung and missed with runners on base. This time they go to the fastball, and this one is out over the plate, right into his power stroke. Looks a lot like Miguel Cabrera, how he goes down and gets that ball. It is now 7-0 as DuBrant warms up.
Felix DuBrant just called up today. Boyd sent back down. Avila fouls this one off. Well, Sanchez continues to get that run support. 7-0 here. The Tigers have been scuffling. Swept by the Bucks. Outscored by the Bucks in 3 games. Only scored 11 runs. And they're getting a dandy performance by Sanchez, who has held the Jays hitless. And the bats came alive in the 4th with a couple of fielding errors to Carrera out and left.
Yeah, that certainly helped out. The Blue Jays are going to get the best that the Detroit Tigers have to offer in pitching. Sanchez, Price, and Verlander.
Which is why even back 6 games, they're thinking to themselves, you know what? It's going to turn around at some point. And Sanchez has already taken that turn. And the question is, will Verlander bottom half of the 5th inning? Right-hander comes set, looks back at J.D. Martinez, and a fastball up and in. Walks the batter with 2 outs, and Gibby is going to make his way out to the mound. 4 2/3. The 5th started out all right. Cespedes out, and then Romine struck out, but Hutch will not make it through the 5th. They needed a strong outing from the big right-hander, and unfortunately the Jays don't get it here on this Friday night. 7-0 Tigers. Back after this. Blue Jays 14th in the American League, and unfortunately unable to break the trend. Drew Hutchison works just 4 2/3. Mark Burley's been so great as of late. Veteran lefty.
There have been times for the Blue Jays where their starters have been good, but overall 14th in the American League at 4.5. It just puts you in a hole too deep too many times. This is Felix Dubront making his Blue Jays debut. Here are his numbers in 9 starts in AAA with a 1-3 record. 244 earned run average for Dubront. He has spent some time in the big leagues with the Boston Red Sox and the Chicago Cubs. And now we'll get a chance here with the Blue Jays.
So the left-hander inherits runners at first and second. And Castellanos swings at the first pitch. In the air, just shy of the track. Bautista settles underneath it. And that is the third and final out. A run scored in the fifth. It's 7-0 through 5.
Canada and Little League Canada 2015 stops include Abbotsford, BC, Okotoks, Alberta, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Victoria, BC, and Toronto, Ontario. Go to bluejays.com/baseball academy for more. The Toronto Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada. Guys, the way things have gone so far tonight, maybe the Blue Jays should attend some of those summer camps.
Is Carrera, Travis, and Reyes. And the top of the sixth inning. And they get it, Sanchez. Blue Jays with the best run differential in the American League, plus 88. They have been held hitless here. Second best in the major leagues behind St. Louis. They're plus 89. Their road differential, however, plus 12. So the struggles continue as this one is tapped toward the first baseman of Romine. And there's one away. We did receive an update on Cabrera, left calf strain. He will undergo an MRI.
And see if he has a slight tear in there or some kind of tear. The way he walked off the field, man, he indicates that he might not be able to play the rest of this series. So we hope that he is okay. He's such a fun player to watch, especially if you're a Tiger fan. I know the Blue Jays aren't real happy to see him stand in that batter's box, but as a baseball fan, it's a lot of fun to watch that guy do his thing.
One of the great hitters in the game. Devin Travis, a former Tiger, struck out back in the third inning. 13 in a row retired by Sanchez. Jays have been held hitless. And there's a swing and a miss.
He's done a heck of a job, Sanchez, really mixing up his speeds, using his changeup a lot, dropping in that curveball when he needs to, running that fastball in on the hands of some of the right-handers. He's hit his spots, but I think changing speeds and using the changeup has been a big pitch for him.
Chopped to Iglesias, fires quickly over to first base, and Travis is cut down. Iglesias
and the
played
Blue Jays
that hop and then fired it over to Romine.
And the Blue Jays are going to check this to make sure that the foot of Austin Romine was on the bag. You see John Gibbons looking towards his bench coach to make sure, and they're still saying, hold on just a second. This is Iglesias. He's only played a great shortstop. Does the foot stay on? It certainly looks like it from that angle.
It does. Here's Reyes, and 14 in a row retired. The no-hitter still intact. Castellanos with both feet right on the edge of the grass at third. Reyes, a bouncing ball back to Sanchez. Sanchez underhand toss. Romine this time makes sure that he keeps that right foot on the bag. Another 1-2-3 inning. 15 in a row retired by Sanchez.
Catch all the action from Calgary daily at 3:30 Eastern on Sportsnet 1. Matt, what do you think is harder, bucking a Bronco or getting a hit off Anibal Sanchez tonight?
Both can be extremely difficult. Both. I haven't been to the Stampede in a long time, since I was 10 years old. And a lot of fun. Went out and visited my uncle. Took me to my first and only ever Stampede out in Calgary. And Gose is the batter. Gose hitting .275, 2 for 2 against his former team. Came in struggling a little bit, but he's been rejuvenated by the presence of the Blue Jays. And the breaking ball is high.
Players, when they get traded from teams and then they go back and face them for the first time, what do they want to do? They want to prove that you made a mistake in trading me. And Anthony Gose is trying to make a statement right here. He's got a couple of hits. He scored a run. He has made a nice catch in the outfield for Detroit. That was the pitch right there that's been giving him problems. That breaking ball that's off the strike zone. Pulled off of that one just a little bit.
Tigers up 7-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. Gose, Iglesias, and then Kinsler. Yeah, sometimes you just need a new start with another organization, and it appears as though that's the case with Anthony Gose, that it's worked out for him. And it was interesting, Wally Joyner, speaking to him before the game, one of the things that he mentioned, he said, what do you think about when you're out there in center field? And he's like, hey, I don't overthink anything. I just play it. And he said, well, that's the way we need to get you at the plate. And he actually went out to say, Gose said, he goes, look, I could play center field all day long. I wish somebody would go up there and hit for me at times. He said, no, we're going to straighten this out. On the ground to Travis, and he is able to get him at first base. Let's send it to Jamie Campbell for an update. Jamie? All right, well, here in Detroit, it's 7-0 Tigers. Dubron just called up from Buffalo. Jose Iglesias 0 for 2 on the night. And a strike is called. Hutchison unable to get through 5. And he worked 4 2/3. And sliced foul to the right side.
You know, there's never been a question about Felix Dubron's arm. He's always had a major league arm. He's always had major league stuff. The problem was just finding some consistencies with his delivery and his ability to throw strikes. Starter or reliever? That's been another thing. Is he a starter or is he better suited as a reliever? As a reliever, you can come in and just blow it as hard as you can. And that's what he's doing right now.
The 2015 Honda Civic is Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Here we are in Detroit, and unfortunately for Drew Hutchison, 4 2/3, 10 hits, 7 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Kinsler scooped up by Reyes in a 1-2-3 inning by the left-hander Dubron. And Sanchez has held the Jays hitless through 6. Of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership, it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership. The error by Carrera, that was back in the 4th inning. 7-0 Tigers, in Sanchez fires a strike. Donaldson, Bautista, Encarnacion. Can they get it going for the Jays here in the top of the 7th inning? The right-hander with a pitch in the dirt in the count, 1-1. Donaldson struck out at the top of the 1st, grounded out to 3rd in the 4th.
You know, this isn't rare a fight error right here for Sanchez. He's done this before when he was a rookie with the Marlins. He actually threw a no-hitter when he was with the Marlins.
September 6, 2006 against Arizona. 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Well, the only blip on the radar for him was back in the 2nd when Encarnacion reached on a walk. The 1-2. Donaldson got underneath it, shoots it high in the air to right field, and cruising over and settling underneath it is Martinez. What away here in the top of the 7th, and let's check in with Jamie Campbell once again. Jamie? Look forward again to the south side of Chicago for the first of 4 on Monday. And a breaking ball is a strike to Bautista.
Well, I've been impressed with Sanchez's ability to throw off-speed pitches when he needs to, throw quality pitches. You know, on top of that no-hitter, he was also the AL ERA leader just a couple of years ago. Now, this guy is a bona fide star.
Well, when you're scuffling as a team, things aren't going right. You just got swept by the Pirates. What do you need? You need a big outing, and Sanchez has delivered it here. The bats came through with the help of 3 errors by the Jays tonight. It's 7-0 Tigers, and Sanchez working on a no-hitter. And that is quite a task against the best offensive team in the American League. Bautista with a count of 3-1. Let's see if he locks in here. Sanchez, the 3-1, and it's a walk. He didn't want to challenge him there.
No, he threw him a 3-1 changeup, and again, that pitch has been so good tonight for Anibal Sanchez, so he wasn't going to challenge him.
And that ends a streak of 16 up and 16 down since the last walk. Here's Encarnacion. Walked in the 2nd and grounded out to end the 4th. Bautista held on by Romine. And a rare scene of Sanchez working out of the stretch.
Yeah, he's only had to do it one time tonight. That was when Encarnacion walked the lead off the 2nd inning.
Ghost shades Encarnacion to the gap in left center. And the right-handed hitter takes it down and in, and it's 1-1. 84 pitches thus far for Sanchez. Last 6 starts, he has pitched 7 or more innings. The Tigers have won 4 straight. And with him on the hill, he's 3-0 with a no decision.
If he finishes this inning right here, you talk about 7 innings, he's done it each of his last 6 starts. That's tied for the longest streak of his career. If he can get through the 7th inning here, that'll set a new record for him.
And there's a strike. Encarnacion goes down looking.
Ups and down, away, use the changeup. We have an idea that he might use that changeup tonight just to get him off that fastball, and he's worked to perfection. He struck out the side in the 1st inning. There's another changeup to Devin Travis, and when the Blue Jays have hit the ball, his defense has been on their toes. This is the best fielding team in the American League. They've committed the fewest errors, and it shows on that great play. So this game's all about Sanchez and his ability to change speeds against the Blue Jays.
And Sanchez started the season really struggling. Haven't got into a groove, but then over the last 2 times out, he has allowed 5 home runs, despite the fact that he's had success. But the Jays have been unable to dial him in. He has been dialed in. Bautista with 2 away over at first base. Navarro, can he end the no-hit bid? With 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Sanchez looks over that left shoulder at first, and the 1-1 is down and in. He's had great command tonight, to say the least. And as you mentioned, that changeup keeping him off balance.
Teams that are right-handed, pitchers that go to the mound against the Blue Jays and then can change speeds, those are the guys that have had trouble for the Blue Jays.
High in the air to Ghost, and Ghost puts it away. The no-hitter intact through 7 for Sanchez, the right-hander.
Game changer. You can go to that app and get closer to the action with breaking news, scores, stats, and video highlights. Download it for free today. Matt?
A great new app. And Ryan Goins comes on at shortstop.
He will take over for Jose Reyes. Over at shortstop, Reyes out of the ballgame here in the 7th inning. Goins takes over to finish off this one.
Cespedes, Romine, and then Martinez. Dubront, the left-hander, coming in for Hutchison. That was back with 2 outs in the 5th. And a looping breaking ball misses high and away. So Goins now it's short. Sanchez has not allowed a hit through 7. And it's now, as you mentioned, 7 starts in a row where he has pitched 7 or more innings. First time in his career.
Yeah, new personal high for Anibal Sanchez.
And just when they needed it most, too, right? With the way the Tigers have been playing. And think about it, you got Sanchez out tomorrow. You got Price coming in.
Yeah, quick turnaround for the Blue Jays.
1 o'clock game Saturday, 1 o'clock game Sunday, and then off to Chicago. You know, this is Tigers team that coming into tonight 2 games under 500 at home. Yeah, 20-22, and of course you know the Jays road record of 16-21. 5-5 against the Central. And the Tigers just 2-5 against the East. This is game 80 for the Tigers. They've had a couple of games postponed due to weather.
just the inconsistencies that they have had from their starters. I think that's the problem, the only problem that they have had this whole year.
Cespedes in the air to right field, and Bautista right there. One away.
The 2015 Honda Civic is Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
5 up, 5 down for the left-hander. And with one away, here's Andrew Romine. And Romine fouls it off to the right side.
We were just talking about the Tigers' problems, and I think it goes back to the starters. And they gave up 8 runs in back-to-back games to the Pirates. And the Pirates are a really good team, and I think they're going to make a run and have something to say in that National League Central. But they gave up 8 runs in back-to-back games, and they've now allowed 8 runs in a game 15 times this year. 15 times. Only the Colorado Rockies have given up more 8-run games than the Tigers. They've done it 18 times.
Yep.
So that's starting pitching. They didn't have Justin Verlander for the longest time. Sanchez got off to a rough start. They don't have Max Scherzer anymore. They got rid of him and Doug Fister. So the backbone of this team has always been their great starting pitching, and they're just trying to get it round into form. But I know Dave Dombrowski. He's a smart guy. He will figure it out and go find a starter if they need it.
I think that's, certainly been the conversation, very much like with the Blue Jays. Go out and get some arms. There's Dave Dombrowski. He has had a great tenure here. President, CEO, and general manager.
Yeah, he will figure out what this team needs. If they need another starter, and they'll use their farm system to do that.
Through the right side and past the diving Smoke. Romine is aboard. And the first Tiger to reach base against the left-hander Dubron. I mentioned this earlier, and you bring up the starters over the last 14 games, 5-9. They're with a 6.20 ERA. There it is, right?
Yeah.
And what do you get tonight? You get Sanchez dealing. You get a run early. And then all of a sudden in the 4th inning, couple of errors, and Tigers start piling on. It's 7-0. And Sanchez has put together a no-hitter through 7.
And you don't have to be so perfect. Right after that 4th inning, when the Tigers scored 5 runs to make it 6-0, it seemed like he was able to have a little breathing room where he didn't have to be perfect.
Wally Joyner and Brad Ausmus there. Romine with a lead at first. And Victor Martinez. That 11 pitch at bat in the 4th inning by Victor Martinez was really the AB that started to change things for the Tigers, don't you think?
Absolutely. I think it did. Cabrera had just singled to lead off the inning.
And a base hit for Martinez right back through the middle. Runners at first and second now with one away in the home half of the 7th inning.
And that seemed to wear down the Blue Jays. Martinez would single part of that 5-run inning. And now Victor has a 3-hit night. He's a switch hitter. He goes down and gets this one.
3 for 4. A single and a run scored in the 4th, and a double and a run scored in the 5th, and a single here in the 7th after hitting into that rare 4-1-5 double play to end the bottom of the 1st inning. Grounded sharply foul. J.D. Martinez doubled and picked up an RBI in the 5th inning.
Talk about a guy who is hot. J.D. Martinez is white hot right now. When it comes to home runs, I had to double check. 21 home runs this year.
Laces this one into left field, rounding third base is Romine. He's going to score, and it's 8-0 Tigers here in the bottom of the seventh. Martinez 2 for 4, and a pair of RBIs.
Pitch that is up. They wanted this ball to go away. You can see that little cutter come right back through the middle, and he's a dangerous hitter. Drives in another run with that solid single to left field. Makes it 8-0 Tigers. 13 hits now for the Tigers.
Victor Martinez saying hello to Devin Travis, and this one is not going the way Devin was hoping, that's for sure. Tigers started the season 11-2. And then that's when things started to change for them, as they lost 4 straight, 3 to the Yankees and then 1 to Cleveland before winning 3 straight. And since that time, they haven't been able to string more than 3 in a row, 3 wins in a row together.
And that speaks again, Matt, starting pitching. You get on those nice little rolls, and the Blue Jays did it when they won 11 in a row. They were getting great starting pitching. They were winning some walk-off games. They were swinging the bats and coming up with some big base hits, but it was all the starting pitching getting their act together.
Avila looks at it down and in. There's Price. We'll see him tomorrow. And Verlander as well. He's on Sunday. But since that 3-game win streak, they've done it 3 times. But as you well know, when you want to try to get back in it, very much like the Jays, you need a lengthy winning streak. On the ground to the right side, Travis, the second out, on to first. Got it. 4-6-3 double play to end the 7th, but not before a run is scored. Sanchez has a no-hitter. We head now to the 8th. Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car, 17 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
The Jays do not have a hit yet tonight against Anaheim Sanchez. This is the closest they have come. The drive of the game is this ball to center field by Kevin Pillar. but former Blue Jay. Anthony Rose is going to pick it out of the air for the out. The drive of the game by Kevin Pillar, and what a game for Anibal Sanchez.
Smoke, Pillar, Carrera here. Justin Smoke, and there's a fastball in there for a strike.
That is what he has done through 7 innings, 91 pitches, no hits, and everybody knows he's going to throw a fastball first pitch for a strike, but he paints the ball right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Yes, he did. It's 0-2. Only 2 Blue Jays have reached base. Encarnacion in the 2nd and Bautista in the 7th. Both got to first with a walk. Smoke popped up to Iglesias back in the 2nd and grounded out to Romine at first in the 5th. Sanchez. Here's the 1-2, and the fastball is high, and it's 2-2. The last time the Blue Jays were no hit, it was a Tiger, Justin Verlander, May 7th of 2011. That was at the Rogers Center. Verlander a walk and 4 strikeouts, and that one misses off of the plate. And the count now runs full.
Fans wanted that one. All the Tiger players thought it was strike 3. Now you got to regather. Right now, there's Verlander. That no-hitter you're talking about, that was something special. He was good from the top to the bottom.
Ground ball foul. 8-0 Tigers. Looking to end a 3-game slide. They got the hitting, and they've certainly gotten the pitching tonight. Shift on. Sanchez from the windup with a 3-2. Smoke awaits. And had a big day on Canada Day. And this one's fouled off to the left side.
He shook to that curveball right there. He's had all of his pitches working tonight. His changeup's been outstanding. The curveball, his cutter, his fastball, everything, he's been able to throw it where he wanted it.
Keeping the Jays off balance for sure. And that one rides high. And it's a walk, a leadoff walk. Can this get something going for the Blue Jays here in the top of the 8th inning? Kevin Pillar. We showed him in the drive of the game. Flew out to left in the 2nd. And flew out to center field. That was in the 5th inning when Ghost raced in and was able to cover a lot of ground and make the catch.
You know that defense, they're on their toes right now. They're going to do everything to try and secure this. You're going to see guys diving all over the place, trying to make plays for their pitcher.
Pillar gets underneath it, and heading over toward the stands is Cespedes, and Cespedes with room makes the catch.
Right at the edge of the stands down the left field line. 5 more feet and Kevin Pillar still hitting. But that ball stayed true, came straight down right at the edge of the warning track and right in front of the stands, and Pillar has another fly ball out.
Carrera. And he looks at a strike. Smokes over at first base. Romine plays behind him. You see the pitches per start tonight, 100. He's had 17 starts. Last time out against the White Sox in a no decision, 106 pitches. A swing and a miss there.
He's got that little turn in his windup where he hides the ball for a long time. And Blue Jays just have not been able to come up with a hit. They have not been able to pick up that ball out of his hand tonight.
He has been on it. And a line drive drilled foul. And Carrera trying to straighten it out. He's down to the count.
They are not holding Justin Smoke on over at first base. That run means nothing. They're going to count the outs. There is Romine, the first baseman, behind Smoke.
There have been 7 no-hitters in the history of the Detroit Tigers, the last 2 by Verlander. And then Jack Morris back on April 7th, 1984. That was in Chicago. The last one pitched in Detroit was 2007 on June 12th against the Brewers. And a 4-0 win. Everybody getting back to where they were. Hey, Price, I got to get next to you, okay? This is where we've been.
Yeah, we've been sitting next to each other all night. He hasn't given up a hit. So my teammate, my starter, he hustles over there before that pitch was thrown.
The very first no-hitter for the Tigers organization was pitched back on July 4th of 1912. George Mullen against the St. Louis Browns, and a 7-0 victory. And then the next one was not pitched for another 40 years. Virgil Trucks in 1952. He did it in 1952 on 2 occasions, and this one is laced into left field for a base hit. And Carrera breaks up the no-hitter. And a standing ovation here from the Tiger faithful.
And a real nice ovation. Standing ovation by the fans for Anibal Sanchez. Everything was up to Carrera. It's getting late in the game. He's up over 100 pitches. This is a changeup that stays up. So that might be an indication that he might be tiring. Ball laced down into left field for a base hit.
Devin Travis fouls this one off. And you see Price applauding the performance of Sanchez. Big time work from the right-hander, the 31-year-old tonight. Carried a no-hitter through 7 2/3. Runners at first and second. Travis and the pitch up and in, and back to your point, right?
109 pitches now. His season high is 113. He did that in just 6 1/3 innings back on April the 23rd versus the Yankees.
Breaking ball, a strike. So Sanchez unable to deliver the 8th no-hitter in the history of the Tigers organization. And a pitch up in the zone again.
Alex Wilson is now up for the Tigers. As Brad Osmus sees, a lot of those pitchers now starting to go up in the strike zone. When you talk about no-hitters and near no-hitters, how about the perfect game Andres Galarraga had here as a Tiger?
Through the left side, Devin Travis with a base hit, and the bases are loaded here in the 8th. So bases loaded with 1 away. It was a no-hitter through 7 1/3. Pardon me, earlier I said 7 2/3, 7 1/3.
Evan Travis picks up the second hit, a leadoff walk to start this inning. Might have been a little bit of an indicator. That ball hops over the glove of Castellanos into left field. Second straight hit by the Blue Jays.
So instead of Jose Reyes here, with Reyes leaving the game, Goins is the batter, Ryan Goins. .215 on the season with the bases loaded and a breaking ball down and in. Can you just get to Donaldson? With the Jays down 8-0 here in the top of the 8th inning. Sanchez working from the windup with the bases full of Jays. Goins awaits, and the breaking ball is in there for a strike.
These have been some long at bats for the Blue Jays, really making it tough on Sanchez to finish this inning.
Smoke, a leadoff walk. He's at third. Carrera at second. Travis at first. And this one sent back into the seats. Donaldson on deck with one down here in the 8th. And Sanchez twists and fires, and the pitch misses off the plate on the inside.
Tried to run that fastball back on the inside corner. Reach back for a little something extra there.
Smoke with a lead at third. Carrera lead at second. And Travis over at first base. Sanchez has the sign from his battery mate Avila. And Goins laces it into right field for a base hit, and the Jays are on the board. Bases are loaded. It's 8-1. The throw goes into second, and Carrera was held up at third because you got Donaldson coming up. And here comes Brad Ausmus. So Goins with a base hit and an RBI.
What a night for Anibal Sanchez. You can see a smile on his face. He's got to feel pretty good about himself as he works into the 8th inning before he gives up his first hit, and the fans certainly appreciate it.
7
epidemic, and no one is coming to its rescue. Its citizens must fight or die. Season 2 of The Strain begins July 12th at 10, only on FX. Does that sound scary to you, Matt?
Just a little bit, Barry. Just a little bit. The Strain. Well, it wasn't a strain tonight for Sanchez, and here's Alex Wilson.
Alex Wilson was a second-round pick by the Boston Red Sox in 2009. He came to the Tigers along with Yoenis Cespedes in the Rick Porcello trade. He throws hard. Good fastball and a nice little slider. He spent 4 stints with the Red Sox last season. And now with the Tigers, he's in some mop-up role for Sanchez tonight.
Bullpen's been an issue for the Tigers. Bases are loaded. Donaldson looks at that pitch off of the plate in the count of 1-1. Sanchez 7 1/3. 3 hits. All the runners on base, his responsibility. Wilson, and it's fouled back. Smoke, the leadoff walk, came around to score on the base hit by Goins. Carrera broke up the no-hitter. He's at third. Travis at second, the former Tiger, and at first, Goins. Ground ball, base hit through the middle. 1 run is in. Rounding second is Travis, and rounding third and coming home, Devin Travis scores.
There's Josh Donaldson once again adding to his RBI total with his first hit of the night. You got runners out there, a chance to drive in some runs. That's the kind of guy who just brings his game and just takes it to another level. Makes this high pitch from Wilson, sends it right back through the middle and gets it by the shortstop. Iglesias for a 2-run single. RBIs 53 and 54 on the season.
So 3 runs here in the top of the 8th inning. Bautista the batter. And a big heavy swing. Goins at second. Donaldson at first base with Romine playing behind him. Five-run game now. With just 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Driven down the left field line, curving foul, and now pops back out onto the field. And look, this story has been there all season long. Game number 82. Yeah. Number 1 in the league in runs scored.
That's what makes what Sanchez has done against the Blue Jays so impressive tonight. No hitter for 7 1/3 innings, 444 runs now for the Blue Jays. And John Gibbons was telling us before the ballgame, he feels like his team is never out of it because of the great offense that they have.
And they get a couple more here and put a scare into the Tigers. Breaking ball down low and away.
Well, they got the right guys at the plate to do it. Bautista has faced Wilson 3 times in his career as Bruce Rodon starts to warm up. He's had a couple of hits, including a home run against Wilson. A guy on deck for the Blue Jays, Encarnacion's had a home run against Wilson in his career. So they have the right guys at the plate to get back into it.
Chopped off of his foot. Bautista down. And slow to get back up. And hobbles away from the batter's box.
Well, Wilson was running that fastball right on the inner part of Jose Bautista. And we've talked in the past how Jose is right on top of the plate. Almost daring you to throw in there. Look at that thing. Coming inside there, and Jose hits it right off the top of his foot. just gets a piece of it on top and right off the foot. I'll tell you, that hurts.
Bautista gathers himself with a count of 1-2. Goins at second. Donaldson at first. Breaking ball in the dirt. And Avila does a good job keeping it in front. Sanchez looks out onto the field. Goins is his responsibility. So the book not totally closed on the night for the right-hander, Anibal Sanchez. The 2-2 on its way. Did he go? They check. No, and the count now full. Bautista struck out in the first, popped out to the catcher in the fourth, walked in the seventh. Two on, one out. 3 runs in the top of the 8th. And the 3-2 pitch outside. A walk.
Hard to believe, but the tying run is on deck for the Blue Jays. Sanchez was in total command, total control this whole game, but the Blue Jays, at their never say die attitude, they have fought back, and now they got a power hitter at the plate in Encarnacion, and they got a guy on deck representing the tying run.
Bautista's 62nd walk of the season.
Gibby was telling us before the game, we asked him about yesterday's game after the Boston Red Sox scored 8 runs in that first inning. You know, what did you think about that? He said, you know what, we felt like we were going to come back and win that ball game. We just got too many hitters in this lineup that were never out of any game.
Over at third, Goins, Donaldson at second, Bautista at first base. Encarnacion with 17 home runs is at the plate, and a breaking ball down low and away.
7 grand slams for Encarnacion in his career. Wouldn't that look sweet right now?
Absolutely. You didn't think about an inning ago you'd have this opportunity, but here it is with the bases full, and it gets underneath it, high in the air, shallow right center field, and coming on Ghost makes the catch, and it's cut off by Romine, the first baseman, and the bases remain full. And here is the 9th batter of the inning, Navarro. And a frustrated Encarnacion.
A pitch to hit right there, and he just got underneath it. And the uppercut swing just could not get on top of that one and popped it into the outfield. He can't get one of those runs in.
And he knows it.
Yep.
Navarro 0 for the night. Facing Wilson. Bases full. First pitch misses.
He knows how important his at-bat was. You got runners on base, a chance to drive them in. Nobody wants to make that out to kill rallies. And you can see the frustration. Now a base hit right here by Navarro. It's going to take a 2-out hit to score a run.
Goins at third. Donaldson with a base hit against Wilson and a pair of RBIs. He's now at second, a walk to Bautista, American League leading, 62nd. He's over at first. Navarro, and the pitch rides high, and the count 2-0. hitting .250 with 2 grand slams in his career with the bases loaded. The 9th batter here in the top of the 8th. Wilson to the plate, swung on and driven in to the right center field gap. That will clear the bases. Bautista rounding third, and Navarro a bases clearing double here in the top of the 8th, and the Jays are right back in it. It's a 2-run game and a big double with 2 outs here in the 8th.
Unbelievable. Never say die with this offense. They're over 400 runs for a reason. They've got guys who can come up in clutch situations and come through. The outfield for the Detroit Tigers were very shallow in center and in right. And Navarro's going to take advantage of it as he drills that ball into the gap. There's Goins, Donaldson, and Bautista right behind him. 3 runs with 1 swing of the bat, and the Blue Jays have put 6 on the board so far.
Was there a no-hitter at some point tonight?
Anibal Sanchez, 7 1/3, 3 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and had a no-hitter through 7 1/3 innings. And it seems so long ago. It's 8-6. Top of the 8th. Smoke started the inning with a walk. And a breaking ball gets away from the catcher. And Navarro's going to head down to third base on a wild pitch.
Yeah, that was just this inning, the same inning we were talking about a no-hitter for Sanchez. Maybe a half hour ago. Blue Jays are still hitting. One of them has a great fastball. For some reason, he leads Justin Smoke off with a breaking ball and spikes it into the ground. Looked like he was going to be the closer of the future, but he sat out all of last year with Tommy John surgery on that elbow.
And you see Bautista getting after the home plate umpire.
Well, he called that one a strike.
Yeah.
You know, that hasn't been a strike all night long, and then for some reason he calls that one a strike.
And Jays are into this. 8-6. Tying run at the plate. And that pitch up. And the count 2-1. Navarro at third. Smoke awaits. And the pitch outside. bullpen has been a problem for Brad Ausmus. He had a stretch where the starters were unable to get it done.
Here is the closer for the Tigers, Joakim Soria, now starting to loosen up. Their earned run average in that bullpen is 10th in the American League, and now they put the tying run on with a walk.
2 walks in the inning for Smoke, and here's Kevin Pillar with runners at the corners and 2 away. A big 2-out hit by Diana Navarro. Colabello comes in to pinch run. So Colabello comes in to run for Smoke. Pillar. Down in the count. The 0-1 swung on, hit in the air to shallow left field, and a racing over Cespedes, and he's able to catch the final out here in the 8th, but not before 6 were put on the board for the Jays. It's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie and Sonny. Guys. This was just having himself a night. Had a no-hitter, 7 1/3, and then all of a sudden Carrera broke it up, and the floodgates opened up when Wilson came in.
Sparkling numbers for Sanchez, but it just doesn't look like it now. Here's the other big story. Miguel Cabrera out of this game with a calf injury, as he was just moving on a 3-2 pitch with Victor Martinez at the plate. He called out the trainer and the manager, and he ended up walking off the field. So he is out of this game. Sanchez is out of this game. It's now a 2-run game as we head to the bottom of the 8th. And Ryan Tepera just called back up today. Will come into the ball game for the Blue Jays. There are his numbers in 12 games for the Jays this year. He's got all 4 pitches: fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. Chris Colabello stays in the ball game and remains over at first base. Remember, he pinch ran for Justin Smoke in the top of the inning.
Dubron did his job. 2 1/3, 3 hits, a run earned, no walks. They had 1 strikeout. And Tepera, the first pitch swung at, and tough trekking for Colabello, Bautista, and Travis there, and foul ground. It's 0-1. 8-6. Castellanos, bottom third of the lineup. Goes Iglesias here in the bottom of the 8th inning. What a wild ride for the fans here at the ballpark.
Wild ride for everybody watching this one tonight. Some of those mistakes now from the Blue Jays, you wish you could have them back earlier in the game. It cost them some runs.
Well, you think about the 2 errors there in the 4th inning by Carrera, but then Carrera, what did he do? He broke up the no-hitter. And then an error by Travis in the 5th. Fastball up and in. But Travis in the top half of this inning, what did he do? He came through with a base hit. Then later scored on that single by Donaldson when Sanchez was replaced by Wilson. Castellanos 1 for 3 and a fastball in there for a strike.
Boy, that's what you need right there. Just keep pouring that ball in there. Make them hit their way on. Tepera was up earlier with the Blue Jays. Did a good job coming out of the pen, throwing strikes.
Fouled off to the right side. Well, you wanted Hutchison to go deep into the game. He was unable to do that. Knocked out in the 5th inning. 10 hits, 7 runs, 5 earned. But Dubront comes in, just called up. Tepera just called up. We've seen them both, and they're in a game right now. 2-run game, 8-6. Castellanos in the air to left field, going back. Carrera just shy of the track, and there's one away. How about the top of the 8th?
Well, remember he came into that inning with the no-hitter, Anibal Sanchez, but the Carrera broke it up with that hit, and then Travis followed with a single. Ryan Goins into the ball game because Reyes is out single. 2-run hit by Josh Donaldson. This is what the Blue Jays do. They just keep the pressure on. They've got so many hitters up and down the lineup. The big hit there, the 3-run double by Deanna Navarro. Plates 3 runs. Got the Blue Jays back to 8-6.
Goes, looks at it.
Who would have thought that, Matt, when we started that 8th inning? The way Sanchez was cruising. But the Blue Jays never say die. They feel like they can come back on anyone at any time in the game, and I don't care what the score is.
Yeah. And that's, we talked about this earlier. That was the case even last night. Talking to Gibby before the game. I feel as though, hey, look, we're never out of it.
And his pitching moves, his pitching decisions are based on his offense.
Yeah.
I got to shut the other team down and give my offense a chance because we're liable to come back against anyone. Yeah, that's the thinking.
Yeah, last night to me, you go back to that 5th inning with a call at the plate. And then the game got away from him. Back in this one here. And a breaking ball just misses outside. And the count now 3-1 in favor of Ghosts.
These are 2 teams, the Detroit Tigers, Toronto Blue Jays, very similar. They got a lot of hitting. Their pitching is about even, and they're down in the standings. As Ghost swings over the top of that one. Very similar, so a close ball game. You got to expect that. I think all 3 of the games that we're going to play the Tigers here over the weekend.
It can be very unsettling, right? You're sitting there in the dugout thinking, you know what, guys, we got the offense. We just need a little bit of help here out there on that mound, 60 feet 6 inches away.
And I think both teams are thinking the same thing. And when you look at the numbers for these 2 teams, look at the AL ranks in offensive numbers. First of all, the on base plus the slugging. Toronto's first. The Detroit Tigers are second. You slide down to the earned run average. They're 14th and 13th in the American League in earned run average. So 8-0 for the Tigers, and the guys dealing like Sanchez. You go back to the numbers and come back to the numbers. it's going to end up being a close ball game, and it is again.
Checking in on Ghosts. Iglesias, the batter, he's 0 for 3. Hit into a double play in the third, flew out in the fourth, and struck out in the sixth. And a ground ball chopped to Donaldson. Out at second on to first base. And a double play. 5 for 3 to end the eighth. And so we go now to the top of the ninth inning. The Jays in need of a couple of runs.
The DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Joaquin Soria, the closer for the Tigers, on here, the top of the ninth.
There are his numbers in 33 games already for the Tigers. A 256 earned run average. He has saved 17 out of 19 chances. Josh Wilson has come in and taken over for Nick Castellanos over at third base as a defensive replacement here in the ninth inning.
There's a strike. Carrera broke up the no-hitter in the top of the eighth inning.
Any way that you can get on base right now, bunt your way on. Try to work a walk, although Soria has got outstanding command and control.
Bunt, first base side. And there's one away. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ken Reed and Ivanka Osman. All right, Ken. Connor McDavid in Edmonton. And a report on just about everything he's doing there. And so excited there, and understandably so. Here's Devin Travis. Travis with the base hit and a run scored in the top of the eighth. And this one sliced foul with one away in the top of the ninth.
I mentioned the 17 saves by Soria. Out of 19 possible chances, that's 7th in the American League. He's also finished 26 games for this team. There's numbers in his career versus the Blue Jays. He's only walked 5 batters all season long, so he's a strike thrower. And a nice little cutting action on that fastball. He'll mix in a curveball every now and then.
Jays just hoping to get to Donaldson as Travis strikes out here. And they're now 2 outs. It was a big 2-out hit by Navarro in the 8th inning with the bases loaded, a double. That made it 8-6. There's 2 away here.
First time Devin Travis, excuse me, Matty, that he had a look at Joaquin Soria, and he just used all of his pitches. Ryan Goins has never faced Joaquin Soria either.
Just find a way to get on, because you got Donaldson and then Bautista. Goins came through in the 8th with a base hit into right field and an RBI that scored smoke. And then Donaldson with that base hit back through the middle that scored 2. Line drive, base hit, Goins. And here's Donaldson with 2 outs representing the tying run.
You know, that's all you can ask for if you're the Blue Jays. They're come from so far behind, and all you can ask for is just give me a chance. Give me a chance to get that tying run to the plate against the closer and just see what happens. They're now into the best part of their lineup right here. Donaldson, Bautista, Encarnacion, a chance to take the lead.
Jays fans on their feet. Tiger fans also on their feet, and there's a strike. Donaldson hitting .299, 19 home runs and 54 RBIs. Goins with the lead at first. Romine plays behind him. Soria to the plate. And a big swing and a miss on the curveball.
Boy, he took a lot of something off of that one. Just 70 miles an hour. It's almost like an Ephus curveball. Watch Josh Donaldson. He can't stay back on that back leg. And he helicopters at that pitch.
Donaldson, here's the 0-2 in the dirt. And Goins now at second. Defensive indifference allows Goins to go to second. Can you get to Bautista? Goins with the lead at second. Donaldson awaits the 1-2 breaking ball down low and away. And the count now even at 2-2. Great patience at the plate
from all those hitters on the Blue Jays. Donaldson came into this game a .300 hitter. He is 1 for 4, so he's dropped a point. He's down to .299. That's why they're .300 hitters. They're good hitters. They know that strike zone.
Donaldson backs out. Soria steps off of the rubber now. Looks back in. Ghost plays Donaldson toward right center field, and now Avila is going to head out to have a word with his right-hander. Roller coaster ride for Brad Ausmus. His 4th pitcher of the night, the closer. And Donaldson was on that one as he fouls it straight back.
Tried to sneak that fastball by him, but Donaldson was all over that one. That was a pitch to hit right there, and he just missed it. That's what the discussion was all about. You think you can slip a fastball by him, and it didn't work.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Goins at second, tying run at the plate. Swing and a miss. Went back to the high breaking ball. And Donaldson strikes out to end the game here in the top of the 9th, Cabby.
What an incredible game for the Blue Jays. It was almost like 2 games in one. We got the no-hit bid by Anibal Sanchez, and the Blue Jays giving up 8 runs early in this game, and then the offense comes storming back and make it a game in the 9th inning. Joakim Soria's got to come in and pick up his 18th save. The Blue Jays never dies offense got them back into this one.